Good rebound.
A feature of this
Jim
evening's match is the
Simpson
clash
looking
of
for
the
the
two
fast break.
off-guards. Newcastle's
Decides to
new boy,
take the
Ricky
drive
Simpson,
himself.
and Adelaide superstar Al
losing
Green.
possession. Kept in by Pearce, away now to Green, and Green's got the points. Rolled to the ground by Ian Rebellion, but got the points okay. As the
Green is an outstanding athlete. He is more than just a basketballer. And he is the man to stop, or at least slow down, as he is the hub around which the 36ers spin. A comparison has been made and well publicised here that Simpson is better than Green. In fact, they say he improved within the bounds of Adelaide's local competition.
Simpson sees a bit of space, he goes hard, no one's going to stop him. Look at that.
That's amazing.
That's a good jump.
Might be good enough.
This is up a rung or through.
There's Simpson,
this
takes
is
the jump.
Oh,
basketball
yeah.
league.
Some time to sink a
And
basket.
Green is
It'll
one
need
of
to be
its
right
kings.
now, right
Simpson
there.
has been slow to get going.
Seconds to
But
score.
last week he showed glimpses of his vast
They
ability.
lead by 17. This
Tonight
could
he
be
has the
20.
chance to show that he is better than
21,
Green.
would you believe?
And the thought of that contest could make me now see
and
red.
Ricky slammed it
A
home.
full house is assured for this match.
Every week, ambulance paramedics attend more than 20 heart attacks. At present, the survival rate is about 35%, but the Heart Foundation says that a public educated in heart-lung resuscitation can increase this to nearly 70%. Hence, today's filming in the Hunter Valley of a 24-minute video that will be used to teach the public how to keep a heart attack victim alive until paramedic help arrives. The film's being made by Mediacast, a Sydney production company, at a cost of $60,000. The star of today's filming was the Westpac rescue helicopter on its final job in the region before it headed back to Sydney this afternoon. The chopper did numerous sweeps of the paddock where Judy Doherty relentlessly tried to revive her husband Ron, who in reality is a Newcastle paramedic officer. It seemed the couple were in danger of being buried by grass until at last the paramedics arrived. This scene will be the final one in a video which will cover the most common heart failure situations. When completed, the Heart Foundation will make the video available to service clubs, schools, businesses and other interested organisations.
Edward Marks, the first person to be arrested for over-the-counter terrorism in the United States, is accused of spiking the capsules with rat poison in an elaborate and bizarre get-rich-quick scheme. The FBI says he spiked the capsules, discovered in March in Florida and Texas, and then rang radio stations to brag about what he'd done.
Told SmithKline that there was 3 tablets already sold in the Orlando-Houston area that already had cyanide in it.
The FBI
It's alleged Marks was a trainee stockbroker who hoped to capitalise on falling demand for SmithKline stocks with a public scare campaign. However, the stocks didn't go down all that much, and agents say his plan also faltered in another area.
Fingerprint taken from a tampered product has been found by the FBI laboratory in Washington to be identical to a known fingerprint of Edward Arlen Marks.
If tried and
If convicted, Marks could face a fine of $50,000 and 10 years in jail. In Canada, meantime, a NATO meeting ended today with more stress cracks in the alliance after some nations opposed President Reagan's threat to scrap the SALT II treaty with the Soviets. US Secretary of State Schultz says the Soviets have been violating what he also described as an obsolete treaty. And in the Soviet Union, a huge fundraising concert has been held to benefit the victims of the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. The concert, the first of its type in the USSR, featured top Soviet rock stars and was as much an anti-nuclear statement as a fundraiser. Run in a similar vein to the Live Aid concert, it raised $1.3 million, and following its success, there are now plans to invite Western rock stars such as Bruce Springsteen, Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson to Moscow for similar but larger televised events.
Primary school student and school captain Andrew G beat over 1,000 New South Wales high school students to gain the state title of Lions Youth of the Year. At the national title held recently in Adelaide, he spoke before an audience of 2,000 on the topic of technology. Does it contribute more to human suffering than human success?
In the short term it might cause suffering, but in the long term hopefully we get success, and I said so it's positive.
Andrew was beaten at the national final, but today on Assembly he was presented with trophies to honour his winning the regional, district and state Lions Youth of the Year title. Andrew demonstrated on Assembly that he is a confident speaker who manages to rarely refer to his notes, a quality anyone who's had to deliver a speech would envy. In making his point that some men must make mistakes for others to learn from them, he spoke of the shuttle tragedy of this year and the achievements of the great explorers Charles Kingsford Smith and Ferdinand Magellan.
Both these men illustrate the fact that men rarely achieve victories until others have suffered defeats.
Well, you compete against 5 others at every level.
Lions Club during his end of year holiday before moving to Sydney. He hopes to take up studies in law.
In 1985 was a tremendous year for Maitland Council. We completed several major projects, and I believe that this would have a lot to do with the award. In the first instance, we constructed the Senior Citizen Centre. Also, we reconstructed Maitland bars to Olympic standard. We built new regional sail yards. We opened stage 1 of the inner city distributor road, and we also introduced a mobile garbage bin service, and these projects alone totalled almost $6 million. And of course we were very active in all other fields of local government, and evidently the judges thought that we were worthy of the award.
The accident happened just after 8 o'clock on Lemon Tree Passage Road. This red Mitsubishi apparently veered into the path of the bus coming the other way. The bus was empty except for the driver, who was unhurt. The driver of the car, however, was not so lucky. 28-year-old Millie Turner from Saltash was taken to Royal Newcastle Hospital, where she is now in a very critical condition. Paramedics treated her for severe head injuries at the scene. Her passenger was unhurt.
One of the problem areas many AA members are concerned about is the growing number of adolescent alcoholics. Many years ago, the average age of a member was around 45. Up until 10 years ago, it was still between 30 to 35. However, in the last 2 to 3 years, the age has dropped and is now between 18 and 30. In Newcastle, it seems there's a growing problem with adolescent alcohol abuse, as this AA member explains.
Well, I suggest if anyone wants to know the answer to that, they hop in their car early on a Saturday morning and go for a drive and have a look around the streets. Frequently I've seen children, and I mean children of 15 and 16 years of age, passed out in gutters.
And for one young AA member, it came as quite a shock to discover he
How
had
did
a
it all
drinking
start
problem.
with you?
Well, I started usually just having 1 or 2 when I went out on the weekends, and after a while it started to get to more and more and more until, you get drunk every Friday and Saturday night when you go out, and then after a while you start to have a few through the week and it just goes down from there.
The public awareness meeting on Sunday night at 8 o'clock will be held in the Catholic Church Hall on the corner of Union and Kenrick Streets at the junction.
It was here the abandoned 23-foot trailer sailor was found drifting on Tuesday afternoon. A subsequent search of the adjoining shoreline found no trace of its missing owner, 45-year-old Peter Harvey. The yacht, Robin 2, was towed back to Nelson Bay from Corlett Point by the police-launched Sea Eagle. A search of the craft revealed only light provisions on board and no evidence that any sort of struggle took place. Police say Harvey was considered an experienced ocean sailor. They say he was also considered a loner, living on board his yacht at Blakehurst Marina in Sydney South. He was last seen 3 weeks ago. Constable First Class Ross Cramp from Nelson Bay Police says despite a thorough search of the area where the boat was picked up, no trace of the man has so far been found.
No, we spent a deal of time yesterday searching the foreshores by boat, which failed to turn up any sign to the owner.
Have you got any theories at the moment as to what may have happened?
Well, there are only theories at this stage, but number one possibility is that maybe he's fallen overboard sometime somewhere in the port.
Well, I've had it in my mind for some time to do something for the Centenary, something personal, and we were coming back from a shearers meeting in Dubbo 18 months ago, and my mate said, well, you know, there's a shortcut back. We haven't found the shortcut yet, but I've found 2 Vauxhalls.
And that's how it all began. Max Redding, an active member in the AWU, is about to embark on a 50,000 kilometre sightseeing tour in an old but guaranteed reliable Vauxhall Wyvern.
They're quite satisfied that the motor's all right. It's an old motor, but the gearboxes have been rebuilt, the clutch has been rebuilt, the diff's okay. Hopefully the motor's okay. It's done almost 100,000 original miles, almost run in, I think.
Max will leave Ballarat, home of the Old Ferns Hotel and the Workers' Union, on June the 12th. The journey will take him to all capital cities, where he'll be welcomed by the 130,000 union members along the way.
So are you confident of a safe trip?
Oh yes, I think we'll have a safe trip. She's pretty solid.
Bramble has been rallying for over 12 years. He finished 6th overall in last year's 2GO International Rally and competed in several of the Australian Classic Southern Cross rallies. He and partner Jim Gleeson are one of only 2 Australian teams making the trip across the Tasman for this event. Being a round of the World Championship, most major international works teams and private teams will be there.
We expect to do very well. We've put a lot of effort into it. And I think the car's up to the task, and as long as the driver and navigator are, we'll be pretty right, I think.
You've had a bit of... The rally starts on the 5th of July and covers 2,000 kilometres in 4 days. Bramble regards it as a sprint event and certainly not an endurance test like the 24-hour Southern Crosses. He's taking a 4-man backup team and expects to sell his car when the rally's over in a bid to recoup some of his costs. So if you're looking for a car with a bit of get up and go and a good honest police background, then maybe this one's for you.
The car's the next New South Wales Highway Patrol car. I'd hate to think what the police think of it now, but that's the cheapest way to buy them and prepare them for rallying.
And I suppose a lot of work has gone into it, getting ready for this event?
Yes, there's been about 6 months solid work in the car to get it ready for New Zealand.
So how do you expect to go over there? Are you out to win it, or are you just going for the experience?
No, it's a Group A motor car, so it runs in that class, which competes against turbo Subarus, the Toyota Sprinters and all that sort of thing. Being a quick event, the car should be fairly competitive because it is a fast car.
If you were looking for a better setting for a golf tournament, Tukley course today would have been hard to beat, and the kids, in age only, not in ability, obviously enjoyed the surroundings. This young lady is one to watch. As you can see, Joanne Mills of Chatswood can play. Even on camera, she was steady and went on to win the two-day 36-hole event with rounds of 83 and 80, with some fine stroke play. The net trophy went to 10-year-old local player Tina Porter, who netted 137 off her 36 handicap. The boys' runner-up was this talented player, David McManus, of the Everglades Club on the Central Coast, with rounds of 75 and 77. The eventual winner was Colin Fields of Tuggerah Lakes. We've no shots of him, but he was one shot better. Local player Luke Maxted netted 130 off 28 to take that trophy. Some $5,000 in prizes was distributed.
The general condition of roads at Pokolbin has been of concern to residents and business proprietors for some time. The Hunter Vineyards' proximity to Sydney and recent promotions has meant increased tourist traffic. Residents say the roads haven't kept pace with this development. But it's the unsealed roads which the newly formed Pokolbin Citizens Action Group believes are in urgent need of attention. These include McDonald's and Deasy's roads, Palmer's Lane and Wilderness Road.
Really think there's too much loose gravel. Nobody can control the car on the loose gravel. We know very well that the council will never have the money to tar them. We all realise that. But we want the council to come and maintain the roads more often.
How does the condition of the road affect business?
Well, if you have a $30,000 or $40,000 car, would you bring them on a dirt road? That is the logic we look at.
Cessnock City Council agrees the condition of roads leaves a lot to be desired, but the Mayor, Gordon Williams, says it's simply a question of money, something the Council doesn't have to spare. He says action groups and the Council should lobby the federal and state governments for road grants. Tom Dyson, however, says he's paying the Council hefty rates and that this money should be going back into the roads.
And we realise that they will never tar the roads. But we realise that there's a lot of money on the dirt road area and the businesses that the council are receiving rates and we're getting nothing for them.
Hello, I'm Helen Hughes. A citizens group at Pokolbin has called on Cessnock City Council to upgrade roads like these in the heart of the vineyards. The group says they're losing business, paying their rates and not getting their money's worth.
Join Ray Deneen and Anna Manzoni for all the news tonight at 6.
The stop work meeting of nurses at Morisset Hospital heard from the Nurses Association Assistant General Secretary Bronwyn Ridgway on a number of issues. These included the wage case, which the nurses claim to have heard nothing about in 12 months, and the filling of permanent nursing positions in the developmentally disabled wards. But the main issue was the proposed closure
what's the purpose
of
of
these
your
wards
visit
at
here
Morisset.
today?
The visit here today is not only a hospital inspection that I've carried out today, but also to support the branch and support Morisset Hospital against any suggested closure, that the government must have ongoing funding to Morisset Hospital as a Schedule 5 hospital, and that we do not support any of the erosion of any services carried on at this hospital.
So what's the association calling on the government to do as far as the mental health institutions in the Newcastle area are concerned?
Ongoing funding, no closures. The message is quite simple from head office of the Nurses Association.
This is a publication put together by the Department of Agriculture, suggesting certain strategies for farmers during extended periods of drought. It contains ideas on choosing the right feed for livestock, water requirements and pasture protection. And according to officers from the Department of Agriculture, the drought is creeping further down the valley. For this month, the Upper Hunter, Merriwa and the western portion of Gloucester are drought affected. And according to officers from the department, parts of the Singleton district could be drought declared if heavy rain isn't received in the next few weeks. Already wheat crops in the Upper Hunter have been severely affected, with low yields expected. Farmers have also been advised to begin culling cattle and sheep herds for age and productivity. The Department of Agriculture says to sell off animals which aren't productive and to wean young animals early. This management plan is just one of many publications offered by the Department of Agriculture. Departmental officers are also available to give farmers advice on drought management. And they also stress that if decisions are made early, then a lot of the problems associated with prolonged drought can be avoided.
The Falcons are currently 3-5, a record that has them in 10th position out of 14. And that's not good enough to be seriously regarded as a prospect for anything but a next year proposition. The team is a good one, don't doubt that, and their opponent Sydney City could find them in a quietly confident mood when they arrive at Broadmeadow Lake tomorrow. The Supersonics are second last, but the motivation is there. What with the likes of the former Newcastle player Owen Wells in charge. Wells is an elegant player, so well liked that his presence will add something to the game. On the other side of the coin is Tiny Pinder, a former Harlem Globetrotter, who is talented, but some say nasty too. Previous bad blood with Moose Rebellion and Buster Matheny could well surface once more. Watch for a torrid affair. Both sides are chock full of talent, so the result could go either way.
Trying to reply and does it, and it's 2017.